Hello there.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm great.
Okay, let me reduce the sound, the volume. Okay, now I can hear you perfectly well.
Yes, yes. All the
How are you
outside
doing?
noises are gone now, I think. Thank goodness. So,
Yeah, I have a cat. She's
still
very
have cats, yeah.
hyperactive today. Two cats actually. They may get into a fight, but yeah, we'll be
That's
fine.
good. Keep it
We're gonna ignore
interesting.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, keep it interesting. Hi,
Sure.
Eleanor.
Hello. Hi there. And how are you?
Perfect.
I said a few things about our topic.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't say
think
much.
I thought it would be a good topic. I don't know, because I know we've talked a lot before about like work ethic and just like the different cultures, like with
Hmm.
just how we live life, you know. There's a lot of
Hmm.
people who are living completely out of alignment and not taking the time to really nurture themselves, or, also the priorities, like the difference in priorities between what different cultures, whether the priority is on relationships or whether it's on stuff
Yes.
and material possessions and things like that. So I thought we could probably have a conversation around this and come up with
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
And actually, we came up with this topic because every time we say something, we're like, yes, we in Europe, we do it in this way, but you in the States, you're doing it in a totally different way. So
Exactly,
it's just like,
exactly,
okay, we need
exactly.
to
Yeah, I know a
discuss
lot of
that.
times I vent to you. I'm like, oh, I just feel like I'm doing it. You're like, slow down, slow down. And it's just like the different mentalities, right? Different mentality, what you're born into and where you live, location-wise and stuff like that. So I think it would be
Mhm.
an interesting conversation for me too, just to like learn about, each other, different,
Yeah.
different,
Awesome. Yeah, that would
yeah,
be awesome. And especially now, just because we are doing our work is online, so we are getting in touch with people from all over the world.
yeah.
So it's important to know this kind of
Hmm.
details, let's say, or how people operate, or
Yeah.
how to, sometimes you get, but when you travel, you're gonna go to a place, and beforehand, you always check what you should do and what you shouldn't do in that country. So it's the
Right.
same with our work. We need to be aware of the way we're speaking, and that was the something I was telling you in the past. It's just I lived in the UK for 11 years. All
Hmm.
right, and what I've discovered is that in the UK, it's a taboo thing. You don't speak about money openly.
Hmm.
You don't discuss how much money you're earning. You don't. I'm going to give you an example. Here in Greece, everything about money. So you're going to go somewhere that
Yeah,
everyone
interesting.
is going to ask you, how much did you buy that? Or how much money? How much money is your salary? Or
Right,
this kind
right.
of personal details. But you don't do that in the UK.
Yeah,
It's
it's
totally,
interesting. Yeah, it's
yeah,
interesting. And
exactly.
maybe even Eleanor can chime in because she's in Singapore. So,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
different. Yeah, it's very different. I mean, in the US, yeah, I mean, it depends where you are, but yeah, there's a lot money focused,
Hmm.
on material possessions, things like that, living in luxury in a lot of cases. In
So, do you think this is the goal, to live in luxury, to have like expensive car and
um,
expensive house?
Like I said, it depends where you are. I mean, the location, I'm in the Northeast, so there
Mm-hmm.
is a lot of focus on status, I would
Mm-hmm.
think.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, things do seem to revolve around bigger houses, bigger is
Mm-hmm.
better. And I know that goes across the globe to a certain degree. I mean, but it's even things like food. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
bigger is better, get more value, things like that. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just this mentality that we always need more and more and more and more and more. And why is that, or that we always need to be doing to get
Mm-hmm.
more, right? And we
Mm-hmm.
can never be satisfied. So it's always this, I don't know, it's always like this search or this chasing for more
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And it becomes almost like an addiction. And until you kind of sit back and ask yourself, okay, how much stuff do I really need? You know,
Mm-hmm.
because there's other parts of the world where people are very happy and they have much less.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
when you're starting to put your focus on, happiness coming through external means or things, just
Mm-hmm.
stuff. At the end of the day, once that stuff goes away, you're left with yourself, right? So it's what really makes you happy, and that's where the priorities with other places where maybe focus on more relationships and family and things like that that are a little more of substance than just things that you can lose, overnight.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That I completely understand what you're saying. And actually, here in Greece is exactly the same. We are talking
yeah.
about money. Everything's around revolves around money and lifestyle.
Mm.
For us here in Greece is very, very important. I mean, the question is that where you're gonna go for holidays, what you're gonna wear there,
Yeah,
material possessions.
yeah.
And actually, we are measuring success on how big is our salary, or how new is our car or our house. And I think that applies to everywhere.
Hmm.
Exactly what you were saying in some
Yeah.
extent. Yes, the focus here is in family. Everything revolves around family and relationships here in Greece. But I don't think we are balanced enough,
Hmm.
on the other hand.
Yeah.
I think it's too much on, and I think that people are having really good time here in Greece. They're spending their time going out, socializing, but no one is paying attention to does that make me feel good? Am I feeling fulfilled? The
Right.
other thing, the focus here in Greece is to have a job and work as a civil servant,
Mm.
because that then you can have a job for life. And actually, I had some clients that I was working with who were civil servants, and they were feeling trapped in their lives because they had the dream. Everyone here in Greece wants a stable job, one job that would do it for the rest of their lives,
Hmm.
right? But actually, they're so unhappy because you cannot really live something that will always give you money, stability, safety,
Right. Right.
security, all right?
Yeah.
So, and that's because the state doesn't really help you to start, hi Crystal,
Hey,
to start
Crystal.
your own business because of bureaucracy, because of corruption, because of many, many reasons. People don't start, they don't build their businesses. And if you're a entrepreneur, it's a nightmare to be here in Greece.
Mm.
It's huge nightmare. So the state wants you to be happy by providing you holidays, because we have really nice weather.
Hmm.
So it's very, very cheap to live here, which is fine. The weather is amazing. But if you're happy with that, then you need to come to Greece. But if you need something more, that for example, if you want to travel, if you want to build your own business, if you want to expose yourself in different mentalities, you want to stimulate yourself with, different ideas and all that,
Hmm.
you need to go somewhere else, not here in Greece.
Yeah.
Nothing's
So it's
happening here.
so it's less about like finding purpose and just more
No.
about having a stable job and one
Yeah.
job throughout your life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
If you have two
interesting.
jobs or three jobs, then something's wrong with you.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah,
Because a lot of people,
yeah,
like here in America, a lot of people have multiple jobs, part-time
exactly.
jobs. And especially now, the economy is kind of with COVID and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's very few years and years and years ago, you would get a 9 to 5 job and you would be in one job. My parents were in
Mm-hmm.
one job. And but now things are different because A, the economy, and B, people are looking for more meaning, more purpose, more balance. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting, but it's also, yeah, you have the balance going both ways, right? You have the
Yeah.
balance going both ways. Too much freedom, just doing whatever, and then the other side, too much just working all the time and not creating that degree of just, having a personal life also.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
there's
exactly.
yeah, it's about creating that. So Eleanor said job stability is also
Build this.
emphasis in Singapore. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
So if yeah, I mean, if sorry, if you're someone like me who cannot imagine themselves, I mean, I cannot imagine myself doing one thing for the rest of my life. Being in Greece is nightmare because
yeah.
it doesn't give me the
Right.
options to try
Right.
different things. Okay,
Feel
to
claustrophobic in a way, right?
oh yes,
Yeah.
yeah, it
Like
is
I can't
because
get out. Yeah.
yeah, I can
Yeah.
get out exactly. Now I'm getting an
Hmm.
idea about something else, but yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good observation.
Yeah.
So that's it. This is the life you can have. You can have a job, find one job. This is what you'll be doing for the rest of your life,
Hmm.
and be happy because the weather is good. It's not enough. When I was in the UK, and then when I realized that uh, you are not really employable if you're staying in the same job for many, many years, because that means you are not being exposed to technology, to differences, to different working environments. So I was very, very happy being in the UK because I was trying different things.
Yeah.
And if you see my CV, I've tried this and I've tried that, and it was awesome, because I had the chance to try different things. Now I can tell you exactly what I really like and what I don't like, because I had the option. I didn't have this option here in Greece.
Yeah, I mean, expands your learning capacity and just your brain. But everybody's wired differently. So some people are, like you said, completely happy in one job for the rest of their life, and it's about the priorities again. What is most important to you? Is it about stability and just providing for your family or providing for yourself? If so, then maybe that's okay for you. But for other people, they want more. They want the variety. They need to stay stimulated, in different ways. And everybody's there's not a wrong way or a right job. It's everybody's wired completely differently. It's just personality types and just what you're looking for in life. Basically.
Exactly. You need to find what works for you. It's not about, and actually nowadays you have the option to move to another country. If you don't like a place, you can always go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And
well, not right now, but yeah.
Not right
not
now.
Right now, yeah.
Right, yeah. But in general, you can do that. You can try that, all right?
Yeah.
And okay, I was very, very lucky enough to work in international environment. So there were people from all over the world. I was a supervisor there. So I had to, it was like a market research agency. So I was manager there. So I was I was always supervising people. And you could see the different cultures. It was the work ethic we're talking about. For example, Greeks have the tendency, wherever they go, they're very loud. They're shouting, they're having fights. Always. And sometimes just because we're very intense, people, when we talk, people think we are fighting, but actually we're just having a normal conversation. We'll be like, oh, no, don't do that. don't shout. No, we're just talking. So you could see that. But what we do when it comes to work, we're going to finish everything the last minute. This is how we operate.
Fascinating.
When it comes to Germans, I remember Germans. They were
very serious.
They were coming at work like 15 minutes or 30 minutes before we start, and they were ready to start working when the clock was showing 9. I remember Portuguese people were coming like 30 minutes after.
Wow, that's so fascinating.
Time.
Yeah, and you're just like observing all of this, like, wow, yeah. It was interesting. I used to work in a like for a medical communications agency, and our company was based out of Amsterdam. So 5 p.m. or 5 p.m. their time, it would be crickets. Like you would not hear from them. And then us in the US, we would be working like all hours of the night. Oh, we got to do this. We'd be all uptight and anxious. And it's amazing, when you think about it. It's like cutoff time. That's it. Hey, 5 o'clock, done working. Now I'm doing other things, right? But sometimes we blend the two over here, and that's why I think it's a lot of people are stressed out because they can't find that balance, or they feel trapped in a certain way. So it's very interesting that you got to observe all the different kind of how people work and the work ethic there. So it is crazy, Crystal. Yep, how your cultural beliefs influence your reality. It is, what you grow up with. Because that's all if you think about it, unless you travel. And I've never been to Europe, so I don't, I would imagine that I would be amazed, or I would be I would like to go just to see the
difference.
Yeah, exactly.
But you have to see, Northern Greece and Northern Europe operates in a totally different way than Southern Europe. But we tend to do the work at the end. It's just we are taking our time. Okay, so if you see how Greeks work, they're taking their time, but everything will be done at the last minute. This can cause a lot of anxiety, obviously, but it's going to be ready. There has to be the
Do
last
you
word,
find that it
always.
does cause anxiety, or that's just like the way it
No, it
is
does.
and people are just used to it, or
No,
people
definitely causes some
it does
anxiety.
anxiety?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah. It's
okay,
just, you know,
yeah.
this is how we do things here. In the UK, no problem. There was always a plan, and you were following the plan. So there was no anxiety there. And
Hmm.
that was the difference. I mean, when I was in the UK, what's this? What's more challenging to, and okay, when we awaken,
Yeah,
I can't say the word. It's a swear word. I'm sorry.
yeah. This is a PG IG live, guys. So,
Come on, guys. And so there was a plan for everything.
yeah.
So I know that the UK, when they are planning 50 years ahead, so they know
Wow.
exactly what's going to happen in the next 50
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
But if you ask Greeks what's going to happen next week, nobody knows. Every time we have a new government, we have
Fascinating.
new things
Yeah.
happening, so nobody
Yeah.
knows.
Yeah, over here, I think we're a good blend. Again, it depends on the person, depends where you live, because you have people, who are very focused on retirement and having a nice retirement package and having things planned out. And then other people are just like, I don't know
Mhm.
what I'm doing next. So I think it's a blend because we're, yeah, all
But do you
different
think there
cultures
are
there.
differences between East and West and in the USA, and actually maybe states in the center, in the middle, uh,
Yeah, I'm sure,
or southern
it
USA?
probably depends even on like income level, whether
All
it's
right,
more
okay.
poverty, driven place that where it's more like blue collar workers who
Mm-hmm.
are focused more on just providing for their family and stability, and then more, maybe more in the Northeast or places where you do have a little more money, people are more wealthy, then, you start getting that mentality of having more and more stuff and status
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. So it depends how you
Mm-hmm.
grow up, the families you grow up with, and what the focus is there,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah.
For me, my impression, okay, that's my impression. I've been to the US,
Hmm.
been
You've been on
to,
the West Coast, right? West Coast, you
yeah,
said?
yes, West Coast, California and
Hmm.
Nevada, just for a little while. Um, it felt like home for some reason, and that was a good thing. But what I always admired is that, for example, when it comes to psychology, because I have studied psychology,
Hmm.
here in Europe, psychology is like very rigid, very academic, very, you studied something in the university and make, and afterwards you can become a therapist or psychologist in any kind. There are so many specialties out there. But when it comes to the US, psychology is being incorporated into people's lives. It's more like it's everyday psychology. So I
Hmm.
always wanted to go to the US because I felt like it's, I don't know, it was feeling more approachable. And if you think about it, everything starts from the US, in my opinion, okay?
Hmm.
New ideas, startups, companies that, you know, why do you think this is happening? Do you think that the state is helping you with your ideas? Do you get funding easier? Or I know, Roy, I'm coming to the US very soon. I'm gonna come.
Just
So
waiting for you.
why do you think this is happening? I mean, I know what is happening in Silicon Valley. I mean, there's so many companies, fundings.
Hmm.
So nothing is starting here in Europe. This is true, right?
Like no
Everything is starting from
companies,
the
you mean,
US.
or okay.
Yes, but if you see who makes an impact in the world,
Hmm.
the big companies, okay, Google, Apple, Microsoft,
Hmm.
everything is US based. So, so there must be something here. I
Yeah,
think all the
yeah,
focus is on the self, and here in Greece is on the lifestyle.
yeah.
So we don't really create something that will. I think it's the. I'm being maybe. I know about the American dream, okay, but for me, in
Right,
my mind, when I call American dream is the whole thing, the dream life,
right,
and
right.
dream life includes doing something, discover something, or
Mm,
create something.
right, right.
Okay, we don't have that here,
Okay.
so
Interesting.
I think that what makes the difference, and that's
Yeah.
why everything starts from the US.
Yeah, it seems to be easier for the US to go international too. Yeah, I mean,
because of the dollar, or why? Why do you think?
probably, I mean, that's probably part of it. Definitely part of it. But yeah, I think, like you mentioned, the mentality too, or having the integration of the psychology and just growing up with the mindset, yeah, the American dream, or wanting to create something to make an impact or something
Hmm.
in the world, you know. I don't know. I guess we have a lot of advantages in that way, or just, I guess this is different mentality, you know, growing up and yeah, and that and money wise, you know, having the ability to create,
Hmm.
yeah,
I
having
think that
the resources too.
yes, the resources. I
Yeah.
think this is it. Because here in Greece, you cannot do anything. Even if you have an idea, even if you look
Why
for
is that? Why do
funding,
you think that
nowhere.
is? What's the
I think there is no infrastructure in place. There
okay.
is nothing. So we get some funding from the EU,
Mm-hmm.
but I think the focus is that I think here in Europe we do have entrepreneurs, but I think the state has the control of all the companies.
Okay.
Companies,
Okay.
okay. But I think and I feel like if you're in the US and if you want to create something, you're gonna start something.
A little more
You
freedom.
have, yeah, a little more
Mm-hmm.
freedom to that. I
Yeah.
think so. I'm not really sure. This is my,
Yeah, I mean,
impression. I
I
may be
think
wrong.
so. Yeah, I mean, we're pretty, you know, free in that aspect, and like you said, we could get more funding and things like that, and maybe because there are so many other companies
Hmm.
and things like that that can we could get the backing for it.
Hmm.
I think that's, you know, it's all beneficial and all, you know, works to our advantage, definitely.
Krista says, also notice other countries see the US as the dream place to be. I don't know if it's the dream place, all right, but I'll give you an example, all right? I'm trying to do my business here. I have an idea in my mind about how I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I've realized that the people who actually responding to my idea are people from the US,
From the
not
US,
people
yeah.
from the UK or Australia or anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So you're more open into new ideas,
Mm-hmm.
right? To and this is not something you're gonna see easily here in Europe,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
And of course, we speak different languages, but we all speak English more or less. But still, it's not the same. So if you have an idea, let's say that you have created a new process, right? A new process or a new healing modality, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a lot easier to present it in to the USA, to the US people, to American people, than to
Mm-hmm.
present it here in Europe in general.
Do
I'm
you
not
think
talking
that's
about
because they're
Greece.
more open-minded or more closed-minded? Yeah,
Open-minded, yeah,
yeah. And again,
open-minded.
that goes back to a culture thing. Goes back to,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
growing
exactly.
up. Again, it depends where you live, obviously. But yeah, I mean, we've evolved into definitely being more open-minded and you know, more accepting of
Hmm.
alternative therapies and things that are being more
Exactly.
integrated. Even looking at something like holistic medicine or um, you know, is being integrated more into like allopathic medicine and stuff like
Exactly.
that. So yeah, we definitely have this more open-minded approach, and I don't know if it's just that other countries need to catch up, or we seem to have this we're always like forward thinking, you know, and
Hmm.
I guess that comes
Exactly.
back to the mentality, right? We're always producing, we're always wanting to create because we're always trying to move forward, or in a sense always trying to be the best, right? Um, and uh, and I think that has a lot to do with it, you know, with just this
Yeah.
progressive movement and the fact that the people that are living there's in the country itself, you know, they're not just relying on the you know, higher ups to make the decisions, the people itself who are pushing for things, right? Trying to drive, you know, getting it out there, or being more open-minded to different ways of thinking, or different
Hmm.
modalities and stuff like that, and having it integrated. So it's kind of the people fighting too for their rights or for their freedom in certain areas. I think that
Yeah.
plays a big part. Yeah.
I absolutely agree. And what Roy
Hmm.
says is I can definitely see that here, the spiritual aspect of life is starting to take over. I
Yeah,
don't think
that's
it
a big one.
started. It has been started.
Right.
I think it's been there for many, many years,
Hmm.
decades.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a difference. That's a difference. Because when you were seeing adverts on TV, in American TV, okay, they were using psychology back in the 50s and 60s and 40s even then. Maybe because you were not involved in wars like here in Greece, because you weren't really involved in Second World War, where everything was destroyed there. Here, so you took the lead because it was easier for you to take the lead and it was the right time for you. But yes, again, you were using psychology back then. So people were talking about spirituality. I remember one of the first books I read was The Power of the Subconscious Mind. And it was written by Joseph Murphy. And it was,
Great book. Great book.
Yeah,
cool.
read
Yeah.
it? Good. And it was published in, I think, the 50s or 60s.
Yeah,
I think
I
in the
think so.
50s,
Yep.
if I'm not mistaken. So you see that spirituality was already there. It's not something new. It's
Right.
now that we have the internet, and especially the last few years, everyone is talking about. Maybe there is mass awakening, maybe. But people are more open. So if you want to try something, you're going to go to the US. You're not going to come here. Here, everything is like very slow because they need to go through the universities, being approved, and then, go everywhere else to the people. So, for example, I think that the country here in Europe who is more open to this kind of things is the UK. But again, the UK is the only country in Europe who is closer to the US. Actually, UK is closer to US than to the rest of Europe. This is what we say here, at least.
Yeah.
All right. So they're more open, but still they're not as open as the Americans.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think it's also that, something like spirituality, even in the US, I mean, years ago it was looked at as very far out there, like, they tied it either to religion or it was very woo-woo, stuff like that. But the US has the capability of, doing actual studies and scientific, you know what they mean? By that integration with the Western medicine or allopathic medicine, there were some things that people found more accepting because they saw scientific evidence of, not just spirituality is a very broad term, but of things like I'll mention again, holistic medicine or alternative medicine or certain things that weren't accepted in the beginning, but because they've been able to study it a little bit more or make it a little more believable for the average American person who is not, say, spiritual to begin with, I think that opened a door too, by having the ability to integrate those things, or by having, a little more, I guess, looking at it from a more Western approach rather than just putting in the category of like woo-woo medicine. And I think that really opened a door, and over time it's evolved and evolved and evolved, where people are being more educated on it and they're kind of opening up to it and their eyes are opening up to it and they're trying it out. And then word of mouth gets around and articles come out and videos come out, and it's just like this progression of people being more open to it in general. So yeah, I think that's a big part of it. It's not that it just like one day everybody woke up. It was that it was being integrated a little bit more into like allopathic medicine, or maybe some medical doctors were recommending something like a holistic modality or something that, or doing hypnosis or something that was far out there, or not very common to begin with. And mixed with the fact that like people were unhappy and they've tried every other method and it wasn't working for them, so they're like, okay, I heard about this because they talked about it on TV or there was an article that came out, and that just opened things up, I think, a lot. Yeah,
even what you said, when I was looking for
thanks,
books,
Roy, for joining.
Thank you, Roy. When I was looking for books, before I go to and live in the UK, when I was here in Greece, I was looking for books. All the books were from the States. You couldn't find any books about spirituality, even psychology, modern psychology. I'm not talking about Freud. Who is talking about Freud? I mean, I don't understand why people are still talking about Freud, you know. But here, you're going to be taught about Freud, what he said. This is history, okay, but there's so many new things you can learn, and I don't know why we need to. I feel like we are stuck in a different era, and there is no fast movement. Everything is very, very slow.
It's like stagnant in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
Eleanor made a good point. The U.S. is very good at popularizing things. That is very, that is very true. We're all about attention. We're very good at making things trendy. So that's
yeah,
the
that's
other
it.
thing with advertising, and it's like, all right, we're going to take this ancient thing or this thing that was people looked at as woo-woo, but it's going to draw a lot of attention because not a lot of people know about it. You know, it's like something that's been around for a long time, you know? And suddenly it's like, okay, hypnosis has been around for a long time. Acupuncture has been around for a long time, you know? But suddenly, you know, we're going to popularize it, make it trendy because we know that it's going to attract and draw a lot of attention, and we could put that on TV, and we can, you know, so that's the other aspect of it, how we can popularize things. And, you know, a
That's
lot of
true.
it is for money too, you know, so,
It says,
yeah.
Eleanor says, because US is very international.
Yeah, we are. Yeah,
Well, many
we are.
countries are international, but
Yeah.
it's not happening everywhere. Okay, UK is very international, and if you think about it, it was the British Empire. It was everywhere, but yeah, most countries consume
Yeah,
stuff from the
it's
US.
true.
Again, I think it has to do with dollar, because dollar is the currency we're using everywhere in the world, so that makes it easier.
Yeah, we don't make
Uh,
a lot of our stuff, products.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so it's interesting.
I
Yeah.
wanted to say something, forgot now. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
When it comes to to nutrition, for example, now everything's about superfoods. It
Yeah.
started from the US. It didn't start it here, you know. And many of these things were, you know, all these superfoods were being, you know, eaten or drunk in the from. They're coming from Eastern countries, from Asia or from South America. Some of them, but only when was popularized in the US, then that was the time when everyone in the world took all that and started using them.
We made it
Now,
trendy.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. You made
yeah,
it trendy. Now,
yeah.
you know, everything is about superfoods, all right? I think Whole Foods are American, right? I don't think they're
Whole Food, the grocery store
Whole
or
Foods,
the,
yeah, the
yeah.
grocery store. Yeah. So they're growing. They're very, very good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have them
So
where you are. Okay.
no,
Or no?
we had them in London, not here in
Okay.
Greece.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, but that was one of the grocery stores that actually made a difference, because they promoted superfoods, they
Or
promoted
like
organic
organic,
food,
Whole Foods. Yeah.
organic, exactly,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
So this is a
And they're
trend,
pretty
and we have
recent
this.
too. I mean, you know, they haven't been around crazy long. I mean, maybe they've been around longer, but they're popping up in a lot more
I think
locations
last
now.
10 years maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you see them a lot more even around here and stuff like that. But you see them again in more like wealthier areas that have money. So you're not going to see a lot of Whole Foods in areas that are more poverty stricken stuff, because
Of course,
organic
yeah,
superfoods more expensive. So
exactly.
it all goes back to money and advertising and all that stuff. So do you think it's because we have a very strong advertising
Yeah, you had the yeah,
platform over here more so than where you are?
exactly,
I mean, that's
exactly,
probably a huge
exactly.
part of it, I would think, right?
It is because
Yeah.
everything is about oh, forgot the word now. It's about buying, okay?
Mm.
It's about buying. You want people to buy things, so and people are buying. So everything is based on consumerism, you know.
Consumerism, yeah.
So yeah, exactly. Amazon, you know, everyone is using Amazon nowadays to buy
It's
everything.
taken over the
So
world, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. If you see all these comments are coming from the US, nothing's coming from here.
Hmm.
So you are creating trends. We're just following. We're just, you know,
Interesting. Yeah.
followers.
You're like
We
the
don't create
shadow
things.
and the
Yeah,
the
yeah,
shadow. Yeah.
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 If you think about
Interesting.
it,
Yeah.
So I think that's a huge difference. That's why we all feel like if you have a business, if you want to do something different, you're gonna go to a different country, and especially in the US, people are more open, and they're gonna pay a lot for your services.
They're gonna
Here
pay
they
more.
don't pay, you
Yeah.
know. So you want to do something, but it's not sustainable to build a business here. It's not gonna work.
Yeah.
I think this is a huge difference.
Yeah, definitely.
And the other
So
thing
that's
is
why,
that, yeah, go on.
no, I said that's why, like you and I talked, like the mention of like always producing and creating and producing and creating, like that's
Yeah,
just the mentality here to
yeah.
always feel like you need to be doing and doing and doing. Yeah.
And that was the other thing I want to say about the quality of life.
Yeah.
And I think the last time we spoke, I told you about the dolce far niente. This is what the Italians said, the sweetness of doing nothing. And we
Yes.
have that in Greece here.
Yes.
So one of our favorite things is to just sit in a bench and just observe people do nothing, or have like a
I did that the other day. It was nice.
yeah, it was
I sat
nice.
in a park.
Hours and
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah. Well, not for hours, but yeah.
Yeah, you have sunflower, eating sunflowers, and
Yeah.
going out and just
Mm-hmm.
observing people. We love that, and we don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
We don't do anything else. So we're just gonna go to work. We're gonna work 8 hours, or sometimes a little more, but we're gonna find a balance, not to
Right.
work too much. And then the other thing we do here in Greece, which is different than in the UK, I don't know how it's in the US.
Mm-hmm.
We go out every day. It's in our culture. But if we drink, we're not gonna get drunk. We're just gonna have like one drink just to
Mm-hmm.
accompany the whole thing. So it's not like we're gonna go out and drink and the purpose is to get drunk.
Right.
We're gonna go out to enjoy, and we're
Right.
gonna have a drink as well.
So
Because
it's
yeah,
drinking to enjoy the moment, but not because you're trying to relieve your stressful
yeah,
day or something. That's
not at
there's
all.
difference,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Not as like
And we don't.
a pain reliever medication,
No, no, no.
right?
So you're not gonna see that in the UK. In the UK, you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna go out, you're gonna drink in order to get drunk. That's a goal.
Mm.
Okay, and I think it's coming from all the pressure because they're feeling very reserved sometimes. They don't
Yeah,
express their emotions that much.
yeah,
So this is a way for them to express, how they feel and everything.
yeah.
And they drink a lot. I don't know how it is in the US, and now also in I don't know how it is here in Greece because I've worked many years ago here in Greece. In the UK, you can have from 22 to 25 days of holidays per year,
Mm.
which is okay if you consider holidays and all that,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, weekends. So how many days you can have holidays in the US? Is
Depends
it
on the job. I mean, a lot of people, if
average?
if they have a full, it depends. You kind of have to work it up. So you might start with maybe like a week of vacation and then build up to 2 weeks. So the longer you are at a job, but
Mm-hmm.
it's also there's a lot of people who don't have, they're not in positions where they're getting full benefits, full packages. So they may not have any vacation. I've worked past number of years where just working in jobs or you're working part-time in jobs and you don't get vacation time, you don't get
Yeah.
sick time, things like that. So that's where we've evolved too, where years and years and years ago, where you were in one job that gave you good benefits, and now a lot of people don't have that, or the companies are cutting their benefits, or again, it
Mm-hmm.
depends. The job depends where you are, but part of that is economy. Part is, businesses trying to stay afloat. Maybe part of it is a little bit of greed. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but it really depends. It depends what kind of work you do. But usually people start off maybe like a week of vacation once they get a position, or maybe there's like an amount of time that they have to work for so long before they
Mm-hmm.
they're eligible for vacation time. So they don't just start right off usually with like tons and tons of vacation time. You usually have to work for it.
Oh God, I
Yeah.
remember I went to
And then people
to
don't take it
shop.
anyway a lot of times because they're like, I can't take vacation. They feel
Oh,
guilty. That's the other topic is the guilt for like taking time off, which is terrible, it's
oh
terrible.
God.
We've all felt it, and it's you know,
Oh God. Really? You feel guilty about
sometimes,
going on
yeah,
holidays?
yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Why do you think it's
You feel like
that?
you let your coworkers down, or not so much now because I'm not, you know, in like a
Mm-hmm.
position where I'm working with other people in a corporate job. But yeah, I mean, like the job, corporate job I used to work at, yeah, you would feel kind of bad for taking a vacation, or you feel because you don't want your coworkers would be left with like your work, or you feel like you have projects ongoing, and it's hard to detach sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Again, depends where you work, what kind of environment it is, but I think that's where a lot of Americans have issues, and it's even hard to take a day off. Or there's people who go on vacation, but they're still working on vacation, or
Oh,
you
wow.
know they're out on the beach on like on the telephone on like a conference call or something, and so it's definitely, you know, this workaholic mentality for a lot of people, and it is that imbalance, and a lot of it is because maybe places they're always trying to produce more and more and
Mm-hmm.
more, and with as little help as possible, you know, or with
All right,
maybe
I get
places
it.
aren't staffed enough, or where people are doing the job of two people or one and a half people, and you know, a lot of people get stressed out and anxious about it. So it's hard to just be in like a nice flow.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, a lot of times with Americans and jobs. Again, not every place. I'm just kind of generalizing, but a lot of people are out of a balance, especially with like these corporate jobs and things that are always trying to create and make more money and produce, and they don't have enough people
Mm-hmm.
on staff to make it like a nice smooth flow. It's always like everything all
Mm-hmm.
at once, and
Mm-hmm.
so some people won't even take time off, or they take time off and they're still kind of working. So,
Oh
or
my
they're
God. I
working, you
think it's
know,
a
or they're
nightmare.
working at night, so there's not that cutoff time.
I
Where I think
remember,
European culture, there's more of a cutoff. Yeah.
well, here in Greece, you take holidays, of course, but there's so much you can work, like, how can I say, without being officially employed. Um, you can work for someone, but he doesn't really register you anywhere, so you are
Hmm.
have no insurance, no anything. Anyway, so much corruption here is
Hmm.
happening. However, in the UK, oh my God, I remember I went to a new job, and the second day I was like, "Can I book my holidays now?" because I need to know. It was
Wow,
absolutely
that's
fine.
bold.
It was bold, but it
Yeah.
was absolutely fun because
Yeah.
you were supposed to plan ahead.
Hmm.
So I knew how many days I could have, and it was like June, and I wanted to know if I'm gonna, book my holidays soon. So I was like, "Is it a good idea?" I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go for it," and they
Yeah.
were absolutely fine because
Yeah.
I've realized it's okay to do it. Not
That's,
everywhere,
I mean,
obviously,
you
but
get
it's
it for a
okay.
reason. Yeah, that's owed to
Yeah,
you. You get that for a reason. Same with sick days,
exactly.
you know. I remember when I worked, I think I took like a half a sick day, like all my time working there,
Oh
and it
my
was
God.
just like, and it was for like menstrual cramps or something. It's like, but it was, yeah, I don't know, but that's owed to you. So, you know, it's hard to detach from that if you're kind of like in this
Hmm.
mode, you know. So you have to kind of like snap yourself back out and ground yourself and be like, and not feel guilty about it, or not feel guilty
Hmm.
about, you know, doing nothing, you know, the art of doing nothing, you know, because you
Well,
need that.
well, you're gonna see, especially in the UK. I remember that there was not much pressure. Not obviously every workplace is different, but you wouldn't see the same pressure. Things people were feeling more relaxed, but they were doing the work they were supposed to do, but in a more relaxed way.
Hmm.
And when the time was like 5 and they had to leave, they would leave at 5. And it was
Yeah.
absolutely fine. So actually, there were so many laws that were um, protecting the employees. So actually, employers had far less, how can I say, um, no, the state was protecting the employees more
Hmm.
than the employers. And I remember how many times I have abused my sick days and it was absolutely fine.
Hmm.
I wasn't a role model when I was working, and actually I didn't want to do that. So it was
Yeah.
like something that I had to do, but I couldn't see my options back then. So, I did it. But I
Yeah.
I've never really lost the job because of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was okay. It was quite acceptable in a way. So,
Eleanor.
this is, after hearing all this, UK feels like my next stop. Told you,
Yeah,
Eleanor,
there you
told you
go.
today
Yeah, you
that
got
we
to
need to
test the
come to the
waters, you
UK.
know? Yeah, you got to test
Yeah.
the waters.
No,
Definitely.
it's a really nice place. I mean, I lived in London and I loved London. I
How
don't
long were
mind the
you there?
weather.
How long did you?
11 years.
11. Oh, you were
11.
there a while. Okay.
Yeah.
And you've been in
So,
Greece, and then you came back to Greece.
yeah, I've been here for the last 3 years, 3.5 years almost.
Okay, not too long.
Not too long, but
Yeah.
yeah, I would love to go back,
Mm-hmm.
back to the UK, or I don't know. I just want to travel to see other places.
Yeah,
Not in
yeah.
Europe because I have a very good idea. I'm traveling many countries here in Europe, so I've seen
Mm-hmm.
more or less everything.
Yeah.
I know what to expect, so I just want to go somewhere else.
Change of pace.
So that's
Mm-hmm.
why when I came to the US, it felt like home.
Mm.
And because of the many similarities that the UK has with
Mm-hmm.
the US. So it was like, same shops, same chains.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was everything the same.
Yeah.
And felt like, okay, yeah, I could
I
live here,
belong here.
definitely.
I'm
I'm gonna
American.
come, told you that.
Yeah. Yeah.
America.
America, yeah. America is kind of, it's an interesting time right now to be in America, but it's an
Yeah, we're
interesting
gonna
time for
see.
everywhere.
Well, we're gonna see who is going to win the election,
Yeah.
and then I will decide where to go.
Yeah, that might be your deciding factor. That might be your deciding factor for sure.
Yeah, you can always come to Greece, by the
Yeah, I
way.
could. I might
Yes,
have
it's
to. Yeah.
considering Canada to
Canada. I would like
yeah.
Canada is lovely. I would like to go to Canada. We can't even cross the border right now, but
Oh,
yeah.
really? Are the borders closed?
Well, because of COVID, we can't. We're
Yes,
trapped in
but
our own country.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Or
So you
I
close the
think
borders with
we
everybody?
are. I don't know if they changed it. I'm not sure. If anybody knows who's on this call, I don't know. I thought we couldn't like exit exit the
All right.
country right
I
now.
have no
I don't
idea.
know. I mean, I know. I'm not sure if anybody can enter in. That I don't know actually, but I don't
Well,
think we
it's
could though.
everything is going to settle down.
Yeah.
I believe
Yeah.
in 6 months everything will be different.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Hopefully, yeah.
I
Yeah.
hope. Yeah, yeah. It
Yeah.
can be
But
like that forever, definitely.
yeah, but Canada, I've been on the border, so I would love to go, more in depth Canada or Quebec and there's a lot of like French speaking people there are similar and but yeah, I don't Canada's
Vancouver.
beautiful though. Yeah. It gets cold.
Vancouver. I know. Vancouver,
Yeah.
because I heard like Vancouver is a beautiful city and
Yeah. Yeah, I know there's a lot of beautiful places there. Yeah. And a lot of people on the FTP site are
all
in
right.
Canada actually. So, but yeah, they
It's
like
good when you
hockey.
speak the language as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know you're from
exactly. A lot
Haiti.
of people speak English there. Yeah.
No, because this is a problem. If you move to a country when you don't speak the language, it could be like a problem. You need to learn the
Exactly.
language from,
Exactly.
it's not
Yeah. So it's
easy.
nice if you go somewhere where a lot of people do
Yeah.
speak. And it
Hmm.
seems like a lot of people do speak English, wherever you go. So it seems to be a universal language.
It
You don't
is.
see a
It
lot of
is.
people speaking Greek, and
What do you mean?
at least
Well,
I don't know it.
do you
But
know? Do you know how many Greek words you are using every day?
yeah, everything stems from a Greek word. You ever see
Yeah.
My Big Fat Greek Wedding? Have you
Oh
seen
my
that?
God, you watch that? Yes.
he's
Same here.
like he's like he's giving the he's
Kimono.
like, you know where that word comes from? It's Greek.
Yeah, we do that. We do
Yeah.
that all the time. But yeah,
Hmm.
it's fine. Yeah, that was fun.
Hmm.
Fun
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah,
I think we
definitely.
are reaching one
We're
hour
at the
now.
limit. Hmm.
Yeah,
Perfect.
exactly. I was
Cool.
also. I've learned a lot.
Yeah,
I didn't know all these
likewise.
things. Yeah,
Likewise.
good.
Yeah.
And now you're invited. You have to come to Greece or at least in Europe.
Yeah.
And
I will get
yeah,
to Europe someday.
you will. You will.
Sometime.
And
Yeah.
you're gonna
I
see.
could go to my roots.
Yeah, of course,
I
of
want to go
course.
to Italy for
Italy,
sure. Italy
Italy,
would be
and where else?
beautiful.
Remind me. Czech Republic
Well,
or
I'm part Polish, Slovak,
Polish.
but my first choice would probably be Italy or Spain. I'd like to go to Spain. I heard Spain is very nice.
Good.
Yeah,
Guys,
Crystal
you should
wants
come
to
to Greece
visit.
first. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Crystal, we
You
need to
should
get
come to
out of New
Greece.
Jersey. Crystal's like down the street from me practically.
Oh God.
You
And
guys
everyone
can
says,
come to
don't come
visit
to
us in New
Singapore.
Jersey anytime.
Ah, I didn't tell you that. Yeah, it's in my plan. Of course, I'm gonna come to New
Yeah.
Jersey.
Well, if
You
you're in New
didn't have to
York, you're
invite me.
close.
I'm gonna come anyway.
Yeah. Perfect. Don't come to
So,
Singapore.
so guys, you should come to Greece next summer, hopefully. So yeah, everything will be a lot better. Even
Yeah.
though now, because of COVID, it was awesome because we have so many tourists most of the time during the summer, and it's not easy to find a place somewhere in the islands. But now it was like everything was empty, and
Mm,
you could stay like in a 5-star hotel, and everything was
nice.
so cheap.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
yes, Crystal, you should come. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Nice.
Good,
Make a
good.
plan.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good.
Cool.
All right. Thank you
All
so
right.
much for that,
Yes,
Jen.
thank
Thank you
you.
for this conversation. It was
Yeah,
very
it was great.
interesting.
It was awesome.
And yeah, speak soon. Thank you very much, all of you, for being
Yes.
with
Thank you
us.
guys for coming on. Have a
All
great day,
right.
everyone.
You too.
All right.
Okay,
Talk
all
to you
of you.
soon.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye.
Ciao.